This is the new iPhone 14 Pro in space black. Oh wait, hang on a second. No, sorry. This is the new iPhone 14 Pro in space black. Wait a minute. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's definitely been a minute. So the iPhone 14 Pro is finally here, and if you're a little confused about what exactly is new, then you're definitely not alone. And this video is going to be useful for you. I'm going to highlight all the major differences between the two, and we're going to have a bit of fun as well playing spot the difference along the way. So let's jump into it. When it comes to the unboxing, of course you have Apple's pretty standard iPhone box, and as we open it up you have the iPhone itself on top. So let's put that to one side for the moment. And then underneath we have a charging cable, which is still USB-C to Lightning, so don't get me started on that. And then up top you have all the usual instructions as well as a sticker. So let's bring the phone back in, peel this off, and we can have a proper look at it. So when it comes to the design, this is where we're going to really struggle to see major differences versus the iPhone 13 Pro. In fact, I'm actually going to bring the two side by side so we can compare. First, let's talk about the colour. So the iPhone 13 Pro here is in space grey, and the iPhone 14 Pro is in space black. I'm not going to lie to you, I think I prefer the space grey. I mean, the colour difference is so minor anyway. It's actually a shame they didn't keep the space grey and then introduce an additional matte black option as well. But anyway, it's still super nice, and I'd be happy with either of these colours, to be honest. The other slight change in the colours is in the sides of the iPhone 14 Pro. The stainless steel bands this time are actually a lot darker, and they've probably done this to stop fingerprints showing up so easily, which is an issue with my current 13 Pro actually. By the way, I usually end up putting a case around my iPhone anyway, and the one I'm using at the moment is called the Mujo. I've also got a screen protector which is pretty good as well, so I'll put the link to both of those in the description so you guys can check it out. Anyway, back to the design, let's see if we can spot any other changes. The most noticeable thing I can see is that the camera bump seems larger, as you can see here, and actually a bit thicker as well now looking at it. No doubt to make room for the new 48 megapixel camera. Great that we're getting better cameras, not so great that the bigger camera bump now means that wireless chargers are going to be even more difficult to align properly. In fact, in terms of dimensions, the iPhone Pro is slightly larger, although it's almost indiscernible. As you can see on the screen now, it's actually slightly taller and ever so slightly thicker. It's also 2 grams heavier as well, which to be honest is barely worth mentioning. On the back, the Apple logo appears slightly larger, and looking at the sides, the lock button on the right this year is lower again. I guess just to help people reach it more easily as these phones get taller and taller, which is a pretty subtle change, but it's nice to see Apple still paying attention to the small details. The other change to the sides will come to North America only at this stage, which is the removal of the SIM card tray. Unfortunately, this is a UK model, so this still has the SIM card tray. Probably the most noticeable design tweak though is the change to the notch, which is now a pill shape that Apple is calling Dynamic Island. When it comes to Dynamic Island, I know this feature has had mixed reviews online, but I'm actually a big fan of it. If you're using the iPhone in portrait mode, this feature works perfectly. It acts as a sort of, well, an island for your notifications, whether you're starting a timer, playing music, using screen recording, or even just plugging in your phone to charge. It also allows you to have 2 items living in the island at the same time, which is kind of nice if you're multitasking. Now when you have to do something in your island, there's 2 ways to interact with it. You can either long press to reveal a little more detail, or you can click once, which will take you into the relevant app. So all of that is great, and I'm a big fan, but where this new notch setup fails for me is if you're using the phone in landscape mode to watch a film or a YouTube video. As you can see, it just doesn't look very good at all, and actually kind of distracts from the content as it's sort of floating on the side of the screen, and I actually much prefer the setup on the iPhone 13 Pro in this mode. The other big area of improvement in the new 14 Pro is the screen. Firstly, the bezels are thinner, which means there's more screen real estate to work with, although marginal. But more usefully, the screen is also brighter now with a peak brightness of 2000 nits. So that's going to help the usability of the screen in direct sun. Although it's worth noting, I did test this and personally I couldn't really tell a difference between the 13 Pro and the 14, but I'm sure there is one. We also now have an always on display for the iPhone for the first time. The one big downside of this of course is battery, and I've definitely noticed worse battery on this than the 13 Pro. The animations in and out of the always on display mode are nice, but not really something I need, and I'd rather have the extra battery, so probably something a lot of people just switch off. But the biggest upgrade from the 13 Pro is of course the cameras. As I mentioned earlier, we now have a 48 megapixel camera, which is a huge change for Apple, having not shifted from a 12 megapixel camera since 2015. The main benefit of this is that you can now zoom at 2 times without any loss in quality versus the 13 Pro. These new cameras are also now better in low light conditions and have a slightly sharper image when I tested them. But one update I'm personally really excited for is action mode. This essentially turns your phone into a gimbal and means there's a significant amount of stabilization software going on. There is a bit of a crop when you use action mode, and as a result the footage is a little more grainy, but it's still an awesome feature to have if you're a filmmaker. Sadly you can't shoot in 4K using action mode, which is a bit annoying, but I am looking forward to when we finally get this, as well as 8K video on iPhones. So guys, apart from those major updates, there's been a few upgrades in terms of performance, but online benchmarks are showing that the A16 Bionic in the new iPhone 14 Pro is not that much faster at all than the 13 Pro. We now have crash detection as well, courtesy of some updated sensors, and a more sensitive gyroscope, which is a really cool feature, but not really something I can test. And then finally, Apple have also announced satellite communication for emergency calls, which is a pretty cool addition, but again, unfortunately, only available in the US and Canada for now. Satellite connectivity is definitely something to keep an eye on though over the next couple of years, particularly with Tesla and T-Mobile's recent announcement to bring Starlink connectivity for free with certain plans, so that's pretty cool. Anyway guys, in summary, this new iPhone is pretty cool, and I still think it's the best smartphone out there. If you own a 13 Pro like me, then I just can't see why you'd want to upgrade to this. These phones are getting more and more expensive each year, and it seems like people are just upgrading for the cameras and the battery life these days. With no jump in battery life this year, and only small improvements overall, seems like this new 14 Pro is more renovation rather than innovation. So I'll be waiting for the 15 Pro before I upgrade most likely. But I'm really keen to hear what you guys think, so definitely let me know in the comments below, and remember to subscribe for more as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.